The group stages for Euro 2020 have come and gone, and now we get into the best part of all. It is time for knockout round football. 16 teams remain, all trying to become champions of Europe. And today, I'm going to more than likely poorly predict who comes out and who is going to win the Euros. We did do a prediction for the group stages. I reacted to that yesterday. If you missed out on that video, make sure you go and do it. But we had some moderate success for sure. In fact, for the most part, we were pretty good. There was only 2 or 3 big calls that I made that kind of blew up in our face. And yeah, they were spectacular fails. But the question for me is, what nations, people, am I going to offend today? Last time it was Sweden. Probably going to be Sweden again. But if you guys do go on to enjoy today's video, make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe down below if you are new around here. We're going to jump straight into it though. The first game that we are looking at is an absolute doozy. This is the game of doom, man. Belgium and Portugal. Belgium, one of the favorites to win the whole European Championships. They looked pretty strong throughout the group stages, coming up against Portugal, the reigning winners from 2016. They were in the group of death. They've escaped by the skin of their teeth, finishing 3rd in that group, and are now taking on Belgium as a result of that. But I mean, they're coming in with decent form, getting a draw against France, even though it was the penalties and all that stuff. But regardless, to get a draw against France is a very good result. Heading into this one, flip of the coin, in my opinion, honestly. On paper, I would say Belgium, but who knows? Palinha out there just killing it. Ronaldo scoring goals. Fernandes, is he going to step up for Portugal in the knockout rounds? Who knows? Kevin De Bruyne was insane at times throughout the group stages. I'm excited, man. I'm excited. This is up there. This is probably the second game that I'm most excited for in the entirety of the knockout rounds. And I mean, I think you guys know which one I'm most excited for. But Belgium versus Portugal, I will be selecting Belgium to go through to the quarterfinals. But that is an absolutely massive game to kick off the knockout round football. And then in terms of who I believe will be facing Belgium in the quarterfinals, we have Italy and we have Austria. Austria, of course, I believe this is the first time they are into the knockout rounds of a major tournament in a very long time. I mean, they never even win games in major tournaments, let alone get to the knockout rounds. So this could be the first time in Austrian football history. But they are coming up against the red-hot Italian side, who did win 3 from 3 in the group stages, scoring goals, looking very strong defensively, and they're looking to continue that moving forward. They have easily become a lot of people's favorites, or dark horses, if you can even call. You can't call Italy a dark horse at this point, can you? But Italy, absolutely killing it. Austria, strong, but I have to do it. I have to say Italy will be playing Belgium in what will be a mouth-watering quarterfinal matchup. Moving down now to the second game, or third game, we have France versus Switzerland. Switzerland again getting out of that group in 3rd position. They are coming up against a massive side in France who did win the group of death. I don't need to talk about this one too long, do I? It's safe to say that I am easily going with France. Potentially, if Switzerland get the result, that would be massive. I mean, France haven't looked their greatest, in all honesty. They had that draw against Hungary. They had the draw against Portugal. They're not looking insane, but I expect them to turn it on another gear as they take on the Switzerland side, the Swiss side, and I expect France to get through to the quarters. Who will they be facing out of Croatia and Spain? In all honesty, both these nations didn't look insane in the group stages. Spain, up until that last match day, weren't great at all and were actually in serious danger of dropping out and falling out altogether. But they got that massive 5-0 win on the final match day against Slovakia. They're taking on Croatia, who had a very tight. All their games in the Euros were extremely tight. They finished 2nd in their group, behind England. Croatia or Spain? I mean, in my opinion, a lot of it comes down to if Alvaro Morata can actually start scoring some goals. Modric has been an absolute king, though, for Croatia. Croatia or Spain? I mean, my head is telling me Spain, but for some reason, my gut is saying Croatia. My gut is just saying Croatia. I feel like this is going to come to bite me back in the ass, but I'm gonna predict Croatia. This could seriously be the worst call, and knowing my luck, it's probably gonna be 5-0 to Spain again. But I'm actually tipping Croatia to qualify and face France in a 2018 World Cup rematch, like the World Cup final rematch. What's that guy on TikTok? I'm gonna go bold. I'm gonna go bold. All right, we move on to my favorite nation of all time, Sweden. I wonder if the Swedish followers, the Swedish viewers have forgiven me yet for how bad I predicted them to go. I predicted them to come 4th in their group, and they bloody top it. And because they top it, they are facing Ukraine. That is a massive move there. Ukraine into the round of 16. Sweden, Ukraine trying to fight it out to face either England or Germany, which is another massive one. Sweden is my tip, however. I'm going to back you guys. Do not let me down. I've talked crap on Sweden so much in the past, but I am tipping the Swedish football team to get themselves through to the quarterfinals and take down Ukraine. And if they are as good as they think they are, they should demolish them. This is the big one. England versus Germany. The team, the nation that I support, that I am part of, but this is a cooked ass. This is cooked, man. England and Germany, I have no idea what to predict with this one. England weren't convincing in the group stages. I think we can all admit that. Now with Chilwell and Mason Mount having to self-isolate for this game at least, and potentially the quarters as well, England have a bit of a gap to fill. Is Grealish going to come into the starting lineup? Is Rashford going to get some game time? Is Jadon Sancho actually going to make the bench? There's a lot of question marks around this England side, but at the same time, Germany weren't all that convincing themselves. The good win against Portugal, which is nice to see, 4-2. They looked great. They had a few goals chalked off for offside and all that stuff as well. So Germany are looking pretty good in that game. Again, they lost to France. They had the draw against Hungary. At one point, 4th in that group of death. But I've got to do it, man. This is a coin flip for me. But I've got to say, I've got to back my nation. Germany, I am predicting to take down England. But this game could honestly turn out as a penalty shootout. It could go so deep. I have no idea what to expect, but I've got to back Germany, and I expect they're going to get through to the quarterfinals. Getting down to the final 2 round of 16 clashes. The first one, the Netherlands taking on the Czech Republic. At one point, Czech Republic had a great start to their campaign, but they have made it through, finishing 3rd in the group behind Croatia and England. They are taking on a Dutch side that had some challenges, but have found themselves topping the group behind or ahead of Austria. So I'm going to come out, I'm not going to claim like I'm an expert in Czech or Dutch football, but on paper, this one's easy for me. The Netherlands in the round of 6 or in the quarterfinals. But then we have Wales versus Denmark. Wales, I predicted to get 4th in their group. They've stepped up and have had some good results, but I might especially that first game they had in the group stages, they did not look convincing in the slightest. The same thing, to be fair, could be said about Denmark at times, but obviously they've had significant hurdles to overcome. They've had a lot to get through, and Denmark getting into the round of 16 is so good to see. I think as a neutral, for all the neutrals out there, Denmark has to be a side that you want to see do well. I want Denmark to do well. I think I'm going to tip Denmark to make it through to the quarterfinals as they take on the Netherlands. I'm going to stay on this side of the draw as we get into the first quarterfinal match between the Netherlands and Denmark. I don't really need to go into too much analysis at this point because I've really given all the analysis that I needed to in those round of 16 clashes about the sides, but I am going to go with the Netherlands. Whilst I wouldn't, if this turns out to be the case, I would want Denmark to be the team that go through, but just on a pure analytical point, on a pure what the paper and what the side looks like, I'm going to tip the Netherlands to make it through to the semi-finals. They'll be facing the winner of Sweden versus Germany, and my siding, I guess you could say, with Sweden is going to come to an end, as I think, honestly, whether it's England or Germany, I think the winner of that game is going to handle Sweden or Ukraine. In this one, I'm going to say Germany will take down Sweden and will take on the Netherlands in the semi-finals. Moving up to the other quarterfinal, what would be the second quarterfinal, it is the replay of the 2018 World Cup final, France versus Croatia. And I am tipping a repeat of the 2018 World Cup final result with France making it through to the semi-finals. And now this is the big one. Out of all of the potential quarterfinal matches that I've put, like if all these games happen, these 4 games happen, Belgium, Italy is a mouth-watering prospect. That is such an exciting prospect. Belgium trying to enter their era of dominance. They've really showed promise for the past the past decade almost. They finished 3rd in the World Cup. They're taking on Italy, who at this point would have been 4 wins on the trot. Belgium versus Italy. Look, based on gut instinct, I'm going to say Belgium. I think Belgium are primed for a run this season, or for this campaign. I'm going to say Belgium taking down Italy to face France in the semi-final of the Euros. Oh, I don't know which way I'm going to go with this one. So coming into the tournament, if you asked me who would win the Euros, first instinct, I would have said France. France are my favourites the whole way through. They're taking on Belgium in what would be a potential semi-final. I've just said all this stuff about Belgium, though Belgium looks so much more convincing than France in the group stages. I think for me it's going to come down to clinicality. Both these sides are very strong all over the park, but the thing that let France down in the group stages was their lack of ability to score goals. That Hungary game is a clear example of that. You've got that first half where Mbappe had a few opportunities. The one that stands out glaringly to me is the one where Benzema had the awesome assist from Mbappe, and it hits Benzema's shin guard and puts it well wide for a goal kick. The clinicality, whilst you look at Belgium, Lukaku was so strong. That Russia game, he got the goal where it fell to him. Lukaku looked great in the group stages. Instinctively, I want to say France. At the start of the tournament, I would have said France. But I'm going to take a risk. I'm not playing things safe here. I'm going to say Belgium take down France in the semi-finals, and they're going to book themselves a spot in Euro 2020's final. And then it gets to the next one. It is Germany versus the Netherlands. The nation that I'm barracking for versus the Netherlands. Obviously, they've had their... I've said my piece about them. It's going to be a tight game, but I am going to predict that Germany will be in the Euro 2020 final. So who is going to win Euro 2020 in this hypothetical situation? In my situation, Belgium or Germany? Now, obviously, I would want Germany to win in this situation. Belgium, I've said all these great things about them. This was scouted for years to be their tournament, for their time for them to step up and really get it done. And you know what? Whilst I wouldn't want this to happen in real life, I am going to say Belgium will win Euro 2020 against Germany. I just think it's their time. I think the Red Devils have come through this. Like, a lot of their players are in their prime. It's the moment for it to happen. I'm going to say Belgium are going to win Euro 2020 over Germany. And I'm going to put a little bit of an extra stake on it. I'm going to predict that the final is going to be a 1-0 win to Belgium. To be fair, looking at this zoomed out, Belgium have the absolute run of doom. But I've just said, like, I just think if they just keep on winning, they get they've got every game they have is going to be tough. You look at all these sides that I've predicted to go through. At some point, they have a game that they should be winning. Belgium take on, I've predicted Belgium to have to go Portugal, Italy, France, and Germany. That's an incredibly bold and incredibly tough draw. But I'm going to stick to what I've said. I'm going to predict Belgium to win Euro 2020. So lads, we will get to review this in a few weeks' time once the Euros have finished. I hope you guys enjoy the Euros as much as I've been enjoying them and as much as I will continue to enjoy them. If you guys enjoyed this video, however, make sure you leave a like on the video. Subscribe down below if you're new around here. I'll see you for the next video very soon. It has been Jared HD here. I'm out. Peace.